So
I think it would
I
have
want
joined
to
effort, and
recognize
everyone
that.
did their part, and we're very happy to see this.
So we are very excited to hear, you know.
The results, right?
Did you do work or did you take side trip? I don't know.
No work.
Huh? Work? They
We
worked.
tried to do some things, yeah.
Okay, good.
Experiencing.
Okay. So, renewable resources was our class, and I thought it'd be appropriate to start off with our only, well, not our only, but one of our pictures where we're all together. This was our first day. We were on, we ended the day with 33 hours without sleep. This was a long day for us, and so we made it to our first tour at the solar power tower. In the background, you can see these are the mirrors in the background, and then up at the top there's where they have to be reflected to. So, and this is a snapshot of all the whole trip, kind of the wind turbine, the Viesmont plant. Our worst meal. We went to the Volkswagen tour, where they made the T5 and the Amarok.
And the Caddy and the Crafter.
Yeah.
And the Porsche Panamera.
Yeah. They did a lot of things at the manufacturing plant, which was awesome. We went to the soccer game. That was a lot of fun. The solar power tower. This was probably our best schnitzel we had. There's a picture of the train. We're on the train there. Cologne Cathedral, and then in Bremen we found some solar panels on top of the building, which were very cool to see.
The first place we stopped was the Lindner Hotel in Cologne. We stayed there for 4 days. It was a really nice hotel, excellent breakfast, and the bar was nice too. We visited Jülich, which had a solar power tower. Aachen, had a wind turbine that we climbed. Then after the wind turbine, we stopped at a bituminous coal mine, which was huge, and it was called Indeland. That's correct, how you pronounce it. And then also stopped at the Cologne Cathedral and saw the Leverkusen versus Hanover 96 game.
You went to the top of the wind farm, right?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
The Jülich, the tower was 60 meters tall, 2,180 heliostats, which are 8 meters squared. They heated up the air to 680 degrees Celsius, could power 300 homes, and it cost 150 euros per meter squared, which ends up being about 2.6 million euros, which is approximately 3.45 million US dollars. That's it for, there's the actual, there's a small model, and this is just this tower, and it reflects all the light up to this spot, which heats it up. Within the tower is they have the heat exchangers, turbines, and other equipment, and then the condensers are outside of it. And that's it for Jülich. Then we went to Aachen wind turbine. It's 60 meters tall, 66 meter turbine diameter, powered 1.5 megawatt power rating. Ran for 13, or is currently still running for 13 years. Produces 40 million kilowatt hours, which is almost 4 million euros in electricity, and costs 40,000 euros per year to maintain.
How many did he say were in the park? I think there were.
He owned 4.
He owned 4.
I don't know how many were in the park though.
Yeah, so that's.
Just to clarify, the 4 million euros was over the 13 years, so
Yeah.
it's produced 4 million euros worth of electricity approximately. Yeah.
But then, and then at the same time, you're spending 160,000 euros in maintenance per year. So there is kind of a cost to
This is the turbine we climbed. Clearly pretty tall. This person probably about 5'11", 6 feet. We climbed the spiral staircase inside, which I guess to be about 350 steps. And we climbed to the top here, and the next picture is from inside. It's amazing looking from inside there.
It's like being in a lighthouse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But 3 times
I
as
think he said it was 28 stories high, or a little more than that. I can't remember exactly.
You could see 3 countries from that spot.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, the next picture shows, there's Belgium in the background here. And then the Netherlands right here. And then Germany. And then here's
Who
the,
owns these and how are these financed and is it privately owned and run? Just state run.
I think the one we visited was privately ran, but I'm not sure about all the other ones. I guess it depends on which one you're looking at. But the one we were at was owned, and they owned 4 of them, and it was privately owned.
Yeah, he was a former physics professor and decided to buy a few wind turbines. He didn't say how he financed them though. That would have been a good question.
here's the bituminous coal mine. It was huge. There were a bunch more pictures. It extends much further to the left and much further to the right. But I found a statistic on this, and I found that it produces 12% of Germany's electricity, which is a huge amount, but it created such a huge wasteland, and just, I'd rather there be wind turbines or solar panels, much more clean.
Wasn't that the small one?
Yes.
Yeah, they said there was a much bigger one, I think a little ways away, that was like 4 times the size of this one, and when we walked up, it looked like a park. You know, there was like grasslands, a walking area, and then you go over the cliff and it just dropped right down. It was just pretty breathtaking, kind of.
And then the next day we climbed to the top of this. We were up here, which is about 140 meters tall, over 500 steps in a spiral staircase that was about this wide.
Can you use on a wheeler to go up there?
No.
I think so. I was really recommend it. It's on a wheeler.
Yeah.
So you climbed the tower there, the tower here. So how many steps altogether? You guys it's going up. So.
Yeah. Well, it was about 500 up and then
There you
500
go.
back down.
There you
So
go.
I was tired.
Did you guys go to, I just remember when I was in Clinton, it was near the cathedral, there was like the ruins that were underground. It was like the Roman ruins in
The road.
It was like a city underground that they just built over top, and then like
There was some excavation going on. You remember that?
Yeah,
that
was the
Jewish
part there. That
Oh,
wasn't the
yeah.
Roman part.
there was I just remember it was pretty close to the cathedral because we went like right after we climbed the steps in. It was just these like ancient ruins, but you could still tell like what they were. It was really cool.
I think the rat house was Roman, wasn't it? I think it was a rat.
Maybe.
Rat house means town hall, by the way. It's not a house for rats.
And then we went. This bridge crosses the Rhine River. There's, I couldn't even count how many locks there are. It's like this the entire way across, and it's not a short bridge either. But people would put locks on it because they'd have their names engraved on it, lock it on there, and then throw the key in there to profess their never-ending love. And but then we then got on a train to get to Leverkusen, where we saw Leverkusen play Hannover 96. And these are our seats. We're right up front. It was really nice, and there were 3 goals at our end, I think. So 3 of the 4.
Yeah.
So that's an exciting game. This is the Leverkusen fan section, and then on the other side is Hannover's. It was a pretty cool experience. I enjoyed it.
I have a question. How'd you score those seats?
Yeah, we don't.
Yeah.
I called all my connections. No, I actually went online and bought the cheapest ones possible. We somehow got front row seats.
Is that the
Did you
score,
ever-
0496?
No.
Yeah, okay,
was-
so I can make sure.
Yeah, that's their team name.
Yeah, I think the 04 and the 96 is when they were established, so.
That's what, yeah.
1994,
Did you have
1904.
any, did you have any connections with Bear? I mean, did Bear know that you were going over, or was there any input? You know, I mean, they're just down the road on.
Maybe next time we wanna kinda do that, so.
Yeah, yeah,
They,
that'd be a
I mean,
possibility, yeah.
they even have, I don't know, I think they're actually in cahoots with Penn State, cause they just built a solar home, like it's a.
Solar
it's-
decathlon.
Yeah, it's a research facility.
Oh.
On their site, right, you know, down in the Parkway West, and, so maybe they're in cahoots with, you know, Penn State, but why, you know, can't they, I mean, they're here in Pittsburgh,
Right.
you know, so.
Be a good connection.
When I saw Bear up there, I thought maybe, you know.
And then next day we headed to Frankenberg. Oh, here's the notable restaurants we went to. The Fruhoff 18 Bistro was the very first place we went to, and we got pizzas that weren't very good.
A little picture in the bottom, the little pizza
Yeah.
tart there.
It was cold and it wasn't very good.
I was hoping to see a
Expensive,
picture or
too.
two here, so. I was hoping to see a picture of you guys here in the restaurants. That's right.
Well, the funny story about that is we were trying to go to the Fru Brauerei, the brewery, because my cousin said, oh, it's a great place, you'll really like it. And so we ended up, we were really hungry, and we saw this place and we thought it was it. It was just a small little bistro on the corner, and we're kind of like looking at each other like, well, I guess this is it. Unfortunately, literally half a block or a few stores down was this huge Fru brewery with excellent food and everything. But we got to see it a couple days later, so.
Yeah, it was excellent there. The food was amazing. They were very nice. Then Paprika was another excellent place in Cologne also. But
Do you want to tell them about how you have to be careful with your curls?
Yeah, I was just gonna say that.
Yes. Yeah, but whenever you're drinking, if you put your coaster on top of it, that means you're done. But if you don't have it on top, they'll keep bringing you more and more.
Yeah, so you have to be
Or
careful.
you could get drunk if you don't.
Right. You don't even know. Like you look away and you have
Right.
a new glass, and where'd that come from? So you have to put your coaster on top to.
It's
to
just
know.
in that place, or it's generally in German restaurants?
Well, I know in Cologne all the breweries do that, but I don't know if it's big
It's big.
throughout.
I didn't notice it anywhere else.
Yeah.
Yeah, it might have just been a Cologne thing.
Interesting.
Yeah,
They
be
do
careful.
That, they do that in America with water, you know, they just keep filling up
Right.
the water glass, and I'm like, okay, I've had enough.
So after how many glasses did you
Yeah, did
spend?
you realize that you
Or you were too polite to
Yeah.
say, they were too polite to
Yeah,
say
we
anything
don't
different.
want to hurt anyone's feelings.
Right, right.
Or of how many, yeah. That's interesting.
So our next trip was to Frankenberg. We stayed at the Die Sonne Frankenberg Hotel, and then we visited Wiesmont. Here's a picture of the town of Frankenberg. Little small town, very unique looking structures, buildings, with a cobblestone road. It was quite a hike from, how long was it? It was
A little over a mile.
yeah, a
wasn't
little
it?
over a
Yeah.
mile to our hotel on these cobblestones, and it was all uphill, so it kind of a struggle. This is the Wiesmont entrance to the information center, which we didn't quite make it to the entrance, which was okay. We got off our bus and we had to wait at the workers' entrance, and so they had to come around and come get us because we weren't able to get through, but we made it eventually.
There was one of those scenarios where the gentleman in the security desk didn't speak English.
Yeah.
And I didn't speak enough German, so we were standing at the workers' gate for a while until someone finally helped us. It was fun, yeah.
So this is the hotel. I learned later on that Wiesmont puts money into this hotel. It was very fancy, 5-star. I mean, it was just to the all out, and they send their guests who come to visit the plant to this hotel. I believe they told Tony it was the only hotel in Frankenberg, and it wasn't. But we stayed there. we got in. This was our room. We stayed in 3 rooms. Some of us would stay 3 to a room some nights. This is the entrance. Very nice outside. It was one of our sunnier days. In the bar lounge, and then we made it to the spa and the pool. The pool changed colors. I was looking for the picture of the blue water, but
It was a saltwater pool.
yeah, it was a saltwater pool. It was very
With
cool.
jets and everything.
We actually got lost going to the sauna. No one else wanted to wear their robe. They gave us robes and slippers, so I decided to it. So Tony let us outside. So he let us outside,
where I was going either.
and we didn't know where the entrance was. So we're walking around. People are kind of looking a little bit, and and they're making fun of me because they said I looked like Rocky. You know, I got this group of guys beside me. But anyways, we actually found the entrance. You just had to go down the steps to the main lobby, and then it cuts across a little tunnel underneath. So that was one of our funnier moments.
So it was all indoors, but we walked around the street, couldn't find it, went back indoors, went downstairs, and found a little underground hallway. Yeah,
It was very
fun. and poor Anthony had to run around in the robe.
So before we went to the sauna, we actually ate around 3 o'clock that day. We had an early dinner at the Golden Angle. I thought it was Golden Eagle in the diary. But we had this was my favorite restaurant. The ice cream was fantastic. I think we all got either pizza or
Jaeger schnitzel.
Yeah, schnitzels. Different kinds. I had a pork cordon bleu, like a chicken cordon bleu. It was very good, something unique. I thought it was chicken at first, but then it was pork. It was the first time we saw liter mugs of beer. You know, all the mugs are half liter. They ended up having liter and half mugs. It was a fun time. So the next day we go to Viesmont. So, we get on the bus in the morning. We had breakfast in the hotel. They took very good care of us. This is where we waited outside the workers' entrance, and we actually were supposed to go to this entrance, but that's fine. They took us. Our tour guide, not Ward.
What was his name? York was the
York was the guy in charge.
Yeah.
I can't
I forget what our tour guide's name was, but he did a wonderful job. Of course, we had the earpieces, and he took us all around the plant. They had a museum area, factual, what products they have, who they sell to, and everything. And then these, where we're at here, these are the. They have different large-scale boilers, biomass, gas, oil, that create energy for big companies, and they have them on display, and they're all different. It was really quite a sight to see. On the top right, the tubes, the smokestacks. I think there's 7 there. All 7 from these machines that ran down. You could see, you know, how big the smokestacks were, and they were probably about the size of the tables. You can, you know, walk around them. It was a really cool, very clean area. So at the train station the next day, we were on Frankenberg for 2 days. Our train didn't leave for at least an hour, and Tony, you know, being Tony, we wanted to leave, and we saw that this train that not this one, the one before, was leaving to go to the same city we needed to go to, or next stop. So he gets on the train, and you know, we're all sitting with our luggage on the dock, and next thing we know, the train turns on, door slams shut, and it just takes off.
You didn't.
Yeah.
And Tony's in it, yeah.
And
Right.
I was trying to pull the doors open. I was hitting that there's a green button you can hit to open the door, and nothing was working.
Nothing
So I
was
was
working.
stuck on the train. Yeah,
And,
with their tickets.
Yeah.
Oh.
So we watched them go away, and
Bye-bye.
it was kind
Like a comedy show.
It was kind of, yeah.
The comical part is I'm on the window going.
And I'm standing there just like, what? Like,
It was so quick I didn't have time to react to it.
Yeah. And
I was like waiting.
it was probably one of those moments where you're just like, what the hell just
Just
happened?
happened.
It was so
And,
quick. I couldn't even get off the train.
And I'm just I remember this so clear. I was just sitting there, you know, my foot up on my knee. I just watched this all happen. I don't know. It was fun. So anyway, so Tony, these pictures come from Tony because he had his camera, and we had to wait an hour for our next train. So he's at the train stop by himself taking pictures.
I was in the middle of nowhere and I was getting bored, so waiting for the next train.
Did you go buy your tickets again then? Did you have to buy tickets?
No, we actually
Just go
cell
online.
phones. We communicated with Tony, and
Yeah, so that was the very next stop, like 10 minutes down the way, and then our final destination was like 45 minutes or an hour from there. So.
So you just waited the next stop.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't share.
that was.
I remember I was in Germany years ago. What shocked me was how prompt they are with timing. And these
Yeah.
trains we took them too. You're right, and it was amazing. I mean, it's not a second early. It's not second later. It's right on. With it.
Yeah, Tony forgot to look at the time.
Well, it was funny. The train took off, and I ran up to the conductor, and I was, you know, because he didn't speak English, and I'm trying to tell him I have a bunch of students, and you know, finally in my broken German, and I figured out that he said we can't stop. The next stop you can get off. So that's when I was just keeping my fingers crossed that they didn't get their tickets checked between, you know, for that 10-minute train ride, but they were good.
Did they charge you?
Did they charge you for my luggage? Oh.
For your 10 minutes?
No.
Now, is this a bullet train, or how
No.
fast did it go?
This was just one of the.
It's actually diesel.
Yeah, this was the
Oh.
diesel one, not the
The RV or something?
IBM or
ICE.
yeah,
ICE.
yeah, those were the very fast trains. This was just a commuter train, I think. But that was Frankenberg. Now we're to Hanover.
Yeah, and after Frankenberg and we went to Hanover, we stayed at the Grand Maritime Hotel. We were there for 4 days. In Hanover, we visited the Rathaus, the Royal Gardens of Herrenhausen, inner city contracting biogas plants, and the Volkswagen production plant. On the first day, we visited the Rathaus, and as Tony said before, it's the word for town or council hall. And that's the view from Adam, Anthony, and Mike's room. There you guys. Yeah, that's the view from their room at the Rathaus. So they had a pretty good view.
Yeah, since we were on they had to put an extra bed in our room, and I guess they only have them on certain floors, and I think they were on the 3rd and 4th floor, and we were on the 9th, so it was a good view.
And when we visited the Rathaus, we went to the top, and the elevator was actually built diagonally, so it went up at an angle, and it was really weird because you usually don't ride an elevator that's not going straight up. So, next slide.
And to make you more nervous, they decided to make the ceiling and the floor see-through in the elevator.
Yeah. You could really feel it when it turned.
Have any of you ever been in the St. Louis Arch?
No.
Any of you?
It's the same way.
You sit in, I mean, there's they stuff 6 in this capsule, and you go up, and then it clicks.
Oh,
and you go up, and then it clicks, so it must be the same type of feeling. Yep. Wow.
Yeah, and after we took the elevator, we did take a spiral staircase to the tippy top. And you can see some of the views behind it. There's a park situated right behind the Rathaus. The Rathaus was built in 1913, and it was 96 meters high, so it was pretty tall. And yeah, it was a good time. There's some pretty spectacular views.
This was our hotel.
Yeah, that was actually our hotel,
There.
right across the street. So
They had a green roof on the bottom.
And that lake in the bottom left was a man-made lake during World War II.
the Marcia seat.
Yeah, Marcia seat.
I like this
That's
picture.
cute.
The next
Great.
the same day I
Looks
went
like
to
an album cover.
Right.
Looks like an album cover.
I went to the Royal Gardens of Herrenhausen, and they had they had some fancy landscaping and everything like that. They had picnic areas, a garden theater, statues, fountains, basically anything you could want. And you can see some of that in the top picture. In the bottom left picture, we took a picture of us jumping off some statues, like where the statues would sit, and that was fun. So, and then the next picture is just on the way to the garden theater. So, the day after that, we went to the biogas plants. Tori and Rolf took us to 2 biogas plants owned by Intercity Contracting. Intercity Contracting is a utility provider in Hanover. And the first biogas plant was in Guyson. And there's a picture of it there. Go to the next slide. How the biogas plant works is it uses corn, rye, and slurry and mixes them all together. You can see in the top picture there's a salt mountain back there. They also put salt into it because it helps to improve the production of gas. It's mixed together and put in fermenters and continuously mixed. It's then stored for 30 days in each fermenter. The gas is then extracted and dried and compressed. The bottom left picture you can see is the sludge in the fermenter. And the next picture over, that little station, is where it's, the gas is dried and compressed. The overproduction of the biogas is actually burned through a flare they have. And then they also, in that section, they improve the methane, improve the quality of the methane and the quantity of methane and quality of the gas. I'm saying that right. Quantity of methane and quality of gas. And then 70-some farmers actually own 49% of this biogas plant. And the farmers help bring some materials to make biogas.
So when it comes out to about 75% CH4 methane, about the rest is mostly CO2. And in order to get it close to natural gas quality, they have to basically get it to where it's about 90% methane. So they get rid of some of the CO2 there, and they have to dry it. The other thing with the farmers was, I think Rolf was our tour guide, right? Rolf?
Yeah, Rolf.
Yeah, he was saying that the farmers play an intricate part because they supply the corn and everything. So that's why that sort of almost 50-50 split is really important for the production to keep going, right? So if the farmers have a vested interest, I think the farmer told us he invested like 50,000 euros or something into it.
Yeah,
so he gets a certain percentage of the income also, right? Yeah.
There was a farmer that came when we were on our tour, and he walked around with us, and I think he spent more time talking to you than any of us. But they supply the corn, and then they get the waste manure that like the gas is in the chamber, and then the manure is vacuumed out, and so they bring the truck and they get the manure. So it works pretty well for them, and they that's why there's such a high population of farmers who invest in that.
Sounds like a full cycle.
It really is.
It comes full cycle.
Yeah.
Are there any biogas companies in America? I'll say in America first.
Yeah, I mean, they're not as common. I guess we call them anaerobic digesters, and in fact, that's pretty much what they're doing here too. But they're definitely not as common. And I think really your return on investment if you build a plant with no incentives is, I don't know, 40, 50 years or so. It's like not really. So I think there might be some incentives available. I'm not sure. But it's more, at least in the U.S., it's more of a luxury. So I think Michigan State University has an anaerobic digester, for instance. But it's, they're doing some experiments and it's educational. But to do it just for profit, it really doesn't make sense here, unfortunately.
When Tony, when I was looking up like some information for the paper and everything, I found that there's a digester in Lancaster County, which is a couple of counties over from where I'm from. And it's big farm areas, and a lot of farmers invest in one. So
You might be reaching out to the Amish and the Quakers.
Yes.
Okay. Well.
The next biogas plant we went to that Earl showed us, it was in the city of Harbor, and it worked the same way, except this had CHP production, What that is, it's combined heat and power systems, and it produces electricity from the biogas. How it works is the biogas is burned, then the high pressure steam from the biogas turns a turbine, which is connected to a generator that produces the electricity. This electricity is then put into the grid, and the heat from this process is also recovered and sent to customers. So.
Didn't he also say it created energy for a school?
I think that's where the heat went to or something.
Oh.
Yeah, the heat went to a school, and I thought like a nursing home or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we were in a crazy town.
Yeah.
There was a whole town that was for mentally handicapped or whatever, and so we were driving through, and he was driving really slow, and we asked him why, and he said we have to be careful. So I guess instead of having just a building or something, they have a whole kind of town in the country.
That's an interesting.
It is interesting. Yeah.
You can better support them.
Yeah, you would think so, right? Yeah.
They also have fake bus stops. I guess people wait at the bus stops, and the buses don't stop. They just keep on going.
This was actually that was the third biogas plant we visited. We actually visited one when we went to Wiesbaden too, and they really stink. Which
not figuratively, right? Or figuratively.
Yeah.
Literally.
I think that's why they don't build. I think our tour guide at Wiesbaden told them, when they try to build them, a lot of people don't want it built because they think it's going to smell. So that's probably why it's probably unpopular around here, because they really do stink. But not from far away. You have to be really close to actually smell it.
Yeah, you would want one of those in the country for sure. Yeah.
Go visit Alcosan on a 90-degree day. That's bad. There's nothing like that.
This is the Volkswagen plant we went to. That was in Hanover. It's the headquarters for the commercial vehicle brands, so the vehicles they use for businesses and commercial use. They produce the Transporter, which many of you know probably is similar to the Volkswagen Bus. Same thing. The Caddy and the Crafter, they're both small SUVs. The Amarok is the pickup truck that they make, and they also make the body of the Porsche Panamera. The plant employs 12,000 people, and also saves energy with its Think Blue program. The Think Blue program automatically shuts off all the production systems during breaks and the weekends. And the heat generated from all the welding that they do is also recovered, and they've decreased their energy usage by 14.4% in the past 5 years with this. So, this is the picture of the plant. It was pretty huge. It was so huge actually that we had to take a transporter around. If you want to in the slide, you can see it in the top corner. We took our tour in that, and you can see the next picture over. There's some of the Crafters and the Caddy vehicles that we don't have here in the United States. The picture in the bottom left is a drawing of the first Volkswagen bus that was done, and the other picture is just us at the end of the tour. So we're not allowed to take pictures really inside or anything, so there's very few pictures to show of production and everything like that.
It was impressive though.
Yeah, it was really clean and everything was spectacular. So.
Okay, the last city we visited, Hansestadt Bremen, which in German means city of Bremen. That's about it. Some quick facts about it. It was founded in 787. It is both a state and a city. It's the Bremen was the city we visited. We were in the actual city, but the state we were in was also Bremen, and the state actually consists of Bremen and Bremerhaven. And we were actually going to go to Bremerhaven, but thanks to somebody losing our tickets, we couldn't afford.
We had to skip one.
Now that they're home, they can say that.
I still haven't given you your final grade.
You already.
Great change.
But there was actually some offshore wind turbines we were going to visit in Bremerhaven. Bremen is also the 10th largest city in Germany by population. It has a population of about 547,000. The area is approximately 126 square miles. So population-wise, it's a little bigger than Pittsburgh, which has about 300,000 people, I think. So it's pretty much the size of Pittsburgh. It sits along Visa River, and it's 37 miles south of the North Sea. Our visit, we stayed in the Star Inn Hotel. It was located right across from the Hauptbahnhof, which is the central train station in all of the cities. We stayed there for 4 days. When we left Hanover on Friday that morning, and we arrived in the afternoon at Bremen Friday, May 17th, and we left obviously Tuesday the 21st. The activities we did were sightseeing. We did a Beck's Brewery tour and a bike tour. Sightseeing, Altstadt, which means Old Town. It was located near the center of the city. Really old looking style buildings, Renaissance style buildings. It contained the Marketplatz, which was kind of a market square. There was a lot of shops and stuff. You could buy souvenirs outside. That was actually only the first day, because the very next day was a holiday, so all of them were closed. But also the Bremen Rathaus, which is a town hall, and then the Ratskeller, which is a town hall, the town hall wine cellar, and also a restaurant, which we went to on the very last day, and it's a fancier restaurant, and we got a good meal. Probably, I think, the best meal of our stay. And then there's also a bronze statue of the town musicians, which portrays the donkey, dog, cat, and rooster of the Grimm Brothers fairy tale. Which, does anybody here know what the Grimm Brothers fairy tale is? Okay, I think Tony does. I think he explained it to us. Well, I looked it up briefly. It's basically a donkey, a dog, a cat, and a rooster are all kicked out of their homes, and they want to go to Bremen because it's a free area. And they on their way to Bremen, they visit a abandoned house, and they see robbers in it, and they go in for some food, and the robbers get scared and they leave. And then something else happens in the story.
The robbers try and come back and take the house back, and then it's dark, and so I guess one of the robbers couldn't see the animals, and something, the chicken crows, and he thought it was a dragon or something like that, and then the dog barked, and he thought it was some other, vicious animal, and then the donkey kicked the robber, and he ran away thinking it was some crazy monster, and he told all of his robber friends. They never end up making it to Bremen in the story.
Yeah, they never make it.
It's Bremer Stadtmusikanten, so they actually were going to Bremen to perform music. Yeah. Strange.
So the top left corner is a picture of the Marketplatz. There were a lot of people there. The top right is the Rathaus from a different angle than what we saw. Then the bottom left is the Ratskeller, which is the wine cellar. Really nice long hallway to eat at. And then the bottom right is us next to the town musicians, the donkey, and then the dog, the cat, and the rooster on top. Was it good luck for us to take a picture of that? Is that
yeah, you have to rub the hoof of the donkey, and it's good luck.
Okay, yeah, that's why. It was there were a lot of people taking pictures next to it because of that.
If you look closely, you can see that the hooves are golden now from all the people who rub it.
Oh.
And so a lot of people go try and get their good luck.
Okay, the next part of our sightseeing was the Schnorr district of Bremen. It's the oldest part of the city of Bremen. The buildings and houses, they date back to the 15th century. Not all of them, but some of them. Most of them are newer, but there's some older ones. It contains a system of small buildings and narrow streets. It was actually named after the old ship trade, where the cables and the ropes were produced. String is Schnorr in German, so that's kind of where it got its name derived from. And it's home to the Schnorr Brau, beer only found in the Schnorr district, which they had to get.
Did anybody drink it yet?
Yeah.
I still haven't.
It was awesome.
My wife drank both of my Schnorr Braus. You buy souvenir bottles, and I brought it back to, have some friends over and let them try, because you can't get it anywhere here, so I thought they could try it. And I came home one night, she said, "Wow, that Schnorr Brau is really delicious." Thanks a lot. Yeah, so she enjoyed the first one so much, she had the second one. So.
I brought back the paper, you can order more.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Shipping.
Yeah.
I'll kill you.
Okay, so the top left picture is the entrance to the Schnorr district. If you can't really see it, it's a sign that says Schnorr. Top right is us walking. As you can see, the street is very narrow, and there's a lot of shops and stuff on our left and our right. And the bottom left picture really shows how narrow part of it got. There were a couple of narrow walkways through that. And then the bottom right is obviously the Schnorrbrau, which is a darker beer. It apparently was good. I don't like beer, so I didn't have it, but they thought it was good. Okay, our next part of the tour was Beck's Brewery. It was founded in 1873 as Kazel Baru Beck and May by Luther Redenberg, Heinrich Beck, and Thomas May. It's the best-selling German beer worldwide, and actually only the 5th best-selling beer in Germany itself. It's sold in over 90 countries. Some of the biggest markets are obviously the USA, United Kingdom, and China. The first beer in Germany it was the first beer in Germany to utilize the green bottle, has that signature green bottle, and it's located on the Weser River, which actually it's a big international beer. That's why it's one of the best-selling beer worldwide for Germany, because it's located on the river and has easy access to go up to the North Sea and then be shipped out internationally. And as you can see, all these pictures are of the Beck's Brewery. We weren't allowed to take any pictures on the tour, so all these pictures are from the outside. But as you can see on the top right, there's a bunch of. Did we determine if those were empty bottles or filled bottles?
Those are empty. A cool thing that I found that all the bottles, glass bottles in Germany, are cleaned. They're not smashed. They're cleaned and they're recycled. You can tell on a lot of the bottles. There are marks on the bottom and around the top from rolling through the washer, so to speak. And so that everywhere you go, there's clean, reused bottles, and those were all filled with empty bottles. So that was pretty remarkable to see. Like they don't waste anything.
They even clean and reuse some of the plastic bottles, like some of the 1 liter water plastic bottles. Yeah, some of them were thicker plastic, and we were wondering why. And you can bring them these little recycled stands, well, cleaning stations, I guess.
Oh, the Cokes. That's like every time we twisted off a Coke, I guess it's the bottom part underneath the cap. It normally stays on the bottle. There, it wouldn't. You always had a struggle pulling it off. Like, if you look on the Coke, like, do you want to show them?
Oh yeah, like this little tab.
Oh.
The ring.
So see how the ring stays on? Yeah. It would never stay on.
It would always kind of dangle off of the cap, and we didn't know why. And it was because they cleaned the bottle, reused it, put a new cap on it.
Yeah. Yeah, that was pretty interesting.
So the final thing we did was a bike tour, over 26-kilometer bike ride through the German country. The whole idea of the bike tour was significant because a lot of people rode bikes in Germany. There were a lot less cars than here in America, and a lot less big cars. They had smaller cars, more fuel-efficient cars there. But yeah, there were a lot of bikes, and what we found was our favorite part of the bikes is they all had a little bell that you could ring to signify that you were passing. And that was.
The hell out of everyone.
They should have had a way to keep your key locked up.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I lost my key to the bike.
This is pretty amazing.
This is a cool story. So we just started our bike tour, I think, right? And John was taking pictures along the way. I think it was a video.
It was a video.
And he heard his key drop out of his pocket on the video. So we stopped to play mini golf, and so we were locking up our bikes, and he discovered he lost his key. So he started looking at his camera and watching the video, trying to figure out where it was. So on our way back, he knew where we dropped it. And so we found it. Someone picked the key up right on the corner and put it on the curb, on the side of the curb for us.
I have to share with you guys, I ride the Montour Trail in the summertime. And I was riding along, and I always look down, I find money and everything. I ran over a BMW key, single BMW key. So I picked it up, put it in my pocket, kept going, and then when I got back, I called the Rails to Trails. Someone had called in and said he lost his key. They contacted me and we hooked up and he got his key back. But, you know, I mean, that's the kind of thing. I mean, you remembered where you
Yeah.
trapped.
Yes, that was.
It was good detective work. I mean,
Yeah.
they were making fun of me for taking a bunch of pictures.
But in the end,
Now
you prevailed.
you were laughing, right?
And you
Yeah.
have to pay for lost key, huh?
Yeah,
Something
I
like
probably would have had to pay for a new lock altogether. So.
that. You could have taken one off the bridge.
Oh, yeah.
I think all of us thought for sure there'd be no way we'd ever find that key.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, we
I had hope.
Oh.
Mostly
You
because I
had
didn't
your
want to
camera.
pay. I was like, better find it.
Cool.
So, yeah, we're riding along, top left, top right, it's just random pictures of us, riding through the bike trail. Do we have lights on the back?
Yeah.
I didn't realize that. Okay, and then, bottom left, first we were in a more, urban area going through, like, with a bunch of houses, then we got more into the countryside where there were more farms, and we actually found a German mini golf place where we stopped and mini golf, and it's very unique. They don't use like turf or whatever we use here for our mini golf, the green. They use just concrete slabs, and you just. But I liked it. I mean, ours I thought the creativity was pretty good on theirs. They just kind of just put stuff out there for you, and a lot of people didn't get par, so.
Apparently, you weren't supposed to They had like a, I don't know what, the metal thing that, like it was like the siding of the hole, and apparently you were supposed to stay outside of it. So like everyone else, we went inside it. Well, no, everyone, like, unlike anyone else, we were inside it. So we got to the 19th or the 18th hole, and the guy yelled at us. And then we started looking around, and everyone was on the outside, and we were like,
I think we missed a sign, lost in
They walk
translation.
in the bathrooms on streets.
But
They
you're
get
not-
confused on trains. They get yelled at on golf.
Tourists.
I got yelled at that sauna too.
Yeah, we got the sauna was very interesting. Oh my gosh. So apparently you're not supposed to wear your bathing suit in the sauna. So this couple was in there and they saw these guys walking with their bathing suits, and so she called someone. Some guy came down and came in and started yelling at us, and like we were just sitting there like, what's going on? And I guess you understood it or something, bathing suit. So then we all ended up going into the pool, and I don't know, this couple was naked and it was kind of awkward.
The naked lady came out, was it? Yeah.
Yeah,
She said, you have to go in the shower.
Yeah, she leads me over to this like little like corner or whatever. I'm just standing there, and I didn't realize there was a bucket of ice water above my head, and she just dumps this bucket of ice water on me, and I'm like, woo! Yeah, it woke me up really quick.
The spa had like 4 or 5 different showers, like all different like shower heads, like one from every angle, and it was very, very unique. But yeah, I'm glad that was.
It's only America that has problems with nudity. And, you know.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We saw a billboard that was 2 women with their riding bikes on their backside, like their backside showing. And I was just like, wow. Don't see that every day.
Sure. So during our bike tour, we also went through the University of Bremen. It was a really nice university, and I forget, was this the prestigious one, or was that the University of August we saw? August?
Yeah, no, University of Bremen's pretty prestigious. I don't know where it ranks in the University of Cologne. I think is the second largest in Germany. But yeah, I'm not sure where this ranks in size.
Okay. Yeah, well, this was a really nice university, you could tell from the pictures.
Bless you.
And it was a little bigger than here. Bremen Renewable Energy, because our tour to the offshore wind turbines got canceled, we didn't really take any tours while in Bremen, but we did see a lot of renewable energy. the top right picture is was actually taken at the University of Bremen, and it's a electric car charge station, and you can see the car being charged there. Really small cars. The left picture on the left is actually what we saw pretty much everywhere. That's just a random farm that I got the best picture of, because it's hard to take pictures when you're moving to get pictures, but this was the best picture I had, and as you can see, there's a bunch of solar panels on the home, and that was pretty much everywhere in Germany, like every 9th, 10th house.
There's a wind turbine back there too.
And then on the bottom right is a wind turbine. Bremen did not have as many wind turbines as the other cities we visited, but this was one that we saw, and there was actually a couple over, but I didn't get them all in one picture. So, and then the Weser Stadion, which is the stadium for the Werder Bremen football team, and it has over 200,000 photovoltaic cells on the north and west side. And I couldn't tell if those were the cells on top of the roof or not. I mean, they look like them, but I don't know. But if you look down here, you can see there is definitely a solar panel down there. And this production actually produces enough energy to power 300 households. It doesn't power 300 households because most of the energy goes to itself, but the energy that is not used, they sell off to consumers.
We got to ride our bikes around the stadium after we dropped Tony and Anthony off, and these are windows. They're the solar panel windows. There's maybe like probably 8 rows, like 8 rows of 4x4 photovoltaics in the window, and just riding our bike along, that was probably the coolest, thing for me, to see a stadium that was just full of energy producing products, and definitely something that more stadiums could use, definitely, so that was really cool.
So in conclusion, we visited a total of 4 German cities. I guess 3 if you don't want to count Frankenberg, because it was kind of smaller. Over 20 different sites. Anthony made the comment that we all had a great time learning about renewable energy. And I think we all took something from this experience that will last a lifetime. Questions?
Gentlemen, I have to excuse myself. I have a dentist appointment. I'd rather stay here, trust me. Excellent job.
Thank you.
And I'll be in touch with you. It was nice meeting you all.
Thanks
for joining.
Good job. Thank you. Thanks for the pizza. Take care.
What did the plant in Frankenberg make? What did it do?
Oh,
The Wiesmann plant?
yeah, I actually brought some things. They have what is called Energy Plus. They do solar, wind, biogas, and oil. They make boilers. I can't remember the number off the top of my head, but they, do you remember how many products they make?
Yeah, I don't remember.
It was a very high number that they make, and with Wiesmann there was so much information. They gave us a presentation in the beginning, and everyone was taking notes. I took pictures, but there was just so much information. In Europe, their government, they want to increase the use of renewables and cut down on emissions, and so by 2050, I believe the percentages were 80% renewables, and Wiesmann, this company, did that in 2012. So they proved to the rest of the world that you don't have to wait, you can do it now.
I think they call it the Venda now. Because when I was last in Germany in 2010, big thing was nuclear power because
Yeah.
of what happened in Japan.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They
right.
want to get away from nuclear power. Was that a theme where you were going places, people were talking about getting away from nuclear power and going towards renewables?
It was mentioned.
Yeah.
They've shut down 8 of the like 12 plants
Oh.
to the today, and
Yeah, approximately 30%, I think in 2010 was their energy or electricity came from nuclear, and their goal is, I mean, 2020 is that when they want all that
Yeah.
whole 30% to be replaced by wind is what their goal is, and then what was it, by 2050 they want 80% of their total energy consumption to come from renewables. It's a pretty bold statement, you know, 80%'s a lot.
It's 2012 it was 25%, so that's a big jump to 2050 to 80%.
The other thing is their energy efficiency standards for buildings in general, residential, commercial, industrial, it's much higher than here. So Viessmann's really well known for their very high efficient, just home boilers and home water heaters, right? So that may be where you've seen the name before, but they've expanded into these biogas, I guess boilers or combined heat and power plants. So they're expanding outward. In fact, they even had solar panels. And then, did they have wind? I don't know if they made wind turbines.
I don't.
Yeah, I think that might be the one area they didn't, but more the thermal side than the electricity side.
Well, that was a great presentation. I learned so much, so thanks for sharing that. Now, you guys graduated. Are you out of here?
No.
You're sticking around.
Yeah.
Can I ask your help with something?
Are you thinking the same thing I'm thinking? Go
No,
ahead.
I highly doubt it.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so they're obviously transitioning Holiday Inn into Yorktown Hall, all for students.
Yes.
And they're redoing the bottom into this amazing cafeteria setting.
Yeah.
The basement. And their original idea was to call it a rat's cellar. But then they vetoed that. But we could just start calling it that, and then everyone can call it that, and then you can come back in 10 years, and that would be like the unofficial student name if you spread the word calling it a rat's cellar.
Okay.
That's my plan. You don't know what it means, right?
Yeah.
Rot means advice, cellar means basement. It's the basement of the rat house where you get advice, the council hall.
That's
Oh, I didn't know that rat meant advice.
Advice. So just start calling it the rat's cellar.
I thought they called it the rat house because politicians are like rats.
Because it's, yeah.
I think, I also enjoyed the presentation, excellent job. With all that happened, I'm glad that you're back here in one piece. You know, with everything that happened there. Think about Tony, I mean, not 10 minutes, you know, the railway star. How about, 45 minutes or an hour after that?
Oh, geez.
It's good you were there taking care of Tony.
Yeah, right.
But anyway, I think besides Mike, all of you are gonna stay around, hang around for a while.
Yeah.
It might be good, we can talk about it later, Tony, but you need to be ambassadors to the study abroad programs. You need to I was thinking, Tony, like, this is a good presentation, if we can condense this into 30 minutes, I'd really like you guys to come and present it in our engineering 1010 classes, intro to engineering class.
Yeah.
Where you can talk about your motivation, why you were inspired to go here, what was your motivation, and all the fun things that happened, plus the education part. Okay, so if we can get that done in 30 minutes, I think it might help you in your future, because these are freshman students coming in, and they hear about, hear about these things from you, that can motivate them to join these future programs. That would really be nice.
Kind of related to that, but not really. Like, I went to Nicaragua over spring break, and it's like mostly a nursing students trip, but I wanted to make it more into like tie it in with some kind of biomedical engineering, and I don't know. I thought that I would do a lot more with it than I have yet, but I want to still go back, and I don't know. I think the engineering program could get a lot more involved in
The Nicaragua.
and the Nicaragua trip, and because a lot of the things that the nurses provide, they like get donated, but I think if they could take something and leave something that the community could use instead of just providing services and then leaving, and then the community can't do anything about it on their own. I think if we could, like, very simple, and I know I talked with a few professors about using some kind of, like, they don't have a lot of power, not a lot of the homes have electricity even, so like some kind of renewable energy source that they could, just like very, very simple devices that they could use. There's so much more.
Yeah, there's so much to this and nursing. Like there are ways to do that.
Mhm.
And like I study business and sport management, and I mean the coolest thing for me was that stadium.
Yeah.
Like I mean that's the future. So there are going to be ways that to interact and to make things available. So there are ways.
Comment and question. First, Tony, thank you so much for leading the trip. It's a lot of work, so it's wonderful you did all of this, and thank you for participating in this. And kind of what Shushil was saying, that in the fall we would like to have you to present then in combination with other study abroad or FLEAP trips that to the whole campus community, maybe like 10-15 minute thing that you could put together. And then anybody could come to see that, and then the faculty lead of each trip. So if anybody else has questions how to plan trips, but especially for students, how to go for these trips, why to go. And that takes me back to your comment that each one of you learns something that will last a lifetime. So in terms that when you talk to other students, why to go abroad, and what was it for you that now you are thinking, it may change in 5 years when you really think of that, because it does change your life, it expands your minds and everything else, but what was for each one of you professionally and personally that you feel that changed your lives or is going to last a lifetime?
I mean, I could say for me, it really hasn't. I mean, we've only been back a month maybe, and it still hasn't sunk in that, you know, how much the people in Germany and Europe just care about their environment, and you know, they have a lot of support, I think, from their government as well. And I mean, there was so much. I still you know, I work in the nighttime. I just think, wow, you know, I was at this bar just last couple weeks ago, and this and that, and it's just, I don't know, it hasn't sunk in yet how it's going to change my life, but I know that it's something I want to be a part of in the future. So where it takes me, I don't know. How, I don't know yet.
Okay, yeah. Professionally, I would say it really helped me because they seem to know a lot more over there about renewable energy. They knew, and obviously they implemented a lot more. So professionally, I think it's not only my job to get educated, but I think it's other people's job to get more educated too, because the only way we're going to get more renewable energy here is if we all get more educated about it, because if we don't know anything about it, then we obviously don't want it, we obviously don't know what it can do. So professionally, I think I need to get more educated. This was a good first step, but even still, it was my first class in the alternative energy minor, so I still have a lot to learn about alternative energy. And personally, I think from an agricultural standpoint, just the communication and the experience, first time being in a foreign country that wasn't Canada, where they speak English, so just the agricultural experience that I got from it will just stick with me a lifetime, you know, all the memories we have there.
I feel like we all have the same answer, but yeah, I definitely feel like the United States, I mean, Germany is more on the ball on renewable energy than the United States is, and could definitely learn a lot, and we could learn a lot from them, and how they implement things and how their system runs.
And for me, I'd like to make what they're doing in Germany, I want to bring that to the US, and I'd like to get involved with that much more, and make the US a renewable resource nation, not just all coal and natural gas, oil.
I thought one of the cool things that we did on our trip was, after I stole Tony's notebook, he had a smaller one, and we wrote down a list of ideas to bring back to the United States. And do you have that list? We found some pretty interesting, actually some really interesting ideas.
Yeah, Germany, good ideas.
Would you like to read them?
They have double open windows, high efficiency windows, 2